Hi everybody, this is Peyton Woods. I'm starting up this scholarship, Powerline Road. I'm going to be awarding one graduating senior of the class 2025 with $5,000. A little bit about the scholarship. It's to get in, to start your journey working outside construction, get into the line apprenticeship. That's what I was planning on doing right out of high school. I wrote up a 5-year plan, thought I had it all designed out and ready to go. I was going to be a journeyman in 5 years out of high school. Well, here I am 5 years out of high school. I just started the line apprenticeship about 11 months ago. I am loving it, learning a lot all the time. There's never a shortage of knowledge in the trade. Learning from people that have 20, 40 years experience, from people that have 3 years experience, 4 years experience. It's pretty kick-ass. So a little bit about myself on how I got into the apprenticeship. Right out of high school, I knew what I wanted to do. I signed the ground books for outside line construction. I had taken absolutely the mindset to take any call. I took the first call and it sent me to Burns, Oregon. I was sleeping in the front seat of my pickup with a sleeping bag, 5-gallon bucket, and the passenger floorboard to put my pillow on. Like, it was cold, it was fun, I learned a lot. I was working with some electricians there. I got finished up with that job. I was one of the last people on that job, so they seemed to like the way I worked. Had a lot of fun, learned a lot from them. When that job was over, I hit the books again, had about 2 months off time. I had made pretty good money while I was there working, so I kind of just floated around on Mount Bachelor, having too good of a time. That next call came in, took me to Key Line Construction. I was a flagger there. It was a flagging call. It took me to Independence, Oregon. I was living in the backs of my pickup because I got a canopy. And the time off that I had, I built a whole sleeping quarters, made a little camper for myself. It was cheap and it worked. That took me, I stayed in that for 3 months. I started getting some good ground experience working on the crews. I was still a flagger, but as we weren't needed, they kept me around and kept me working. I was able to do a little bit of shovel work here and there, learning as much as I could, as much as they were willing to teach me for being just a young punk kid. It was a great experience. I'll never forget it. I've screwed up pretty good due to me drinking too much alcohol at a young age. It was a good lesson I learned, but it definitely taught me a big lesson. Ruined a really good chance of getting into the line apprenticeship, as I had applied for the Northwest Line JATC apprenticeship. I was scheduled to get my apprenticeship interview, I believe within the 3 or 4 months. I'd just gotten that application in right before I got fired. I thought I was high on the horse. So, high on the horse, and definitely screwed up by showing up late to work, letting the alcohol get the best of me, thinking I could party all night like a rock star. And that was a good lesson I learned. So I'm glad I got fired from that job, because it brought me to where I'm at today. After that job, I hit the books again. I got called out as a flagger for a tree company. That led into me not wanting to flag anymore, because flagging was not for my calling. I wanted to be a lineman apprentice, so I took whatever opportunity I could. I got the guys that worked tree side, all the journeymen around me had talked me into applying for the tree apprenticeship. I called some people that my dad knew, that I knew growing up with, asked them what they thought about that route to get into the lineman apprenticeship. It was an all right route, and so I took it. I got in the tree apprenticeship. I applied to the Northwest Line JATC onto their tree side apprenticeship. That took me 2 years to complete, with a whole bunch of on-the-job training that was uncomparable to anything I've heard for guys around, like working private side and such. Like, it was just an amazing experience working under the journeyman that I had. They taught me and brought me under their wing and really showed me how to do tree work and do it to the best of my ability. So they never held me to a lower standard because I was young and I was dumb and I had already failed at one time. They just really helped me to strive for the best. So I ended up journeying out Treeside, thanks to all those teachers and people who helped me out. 4 months after I journeyed out, I had the nerve to go in and say I quit. I wanted to pursue the line trade, and I did. So I signed the books that day. There was an open call, luckily. Got very blessed with that, and it sent me down to California, in Mount Shasta, California, and I headed down there with my fiance being 8.5 months pregnant, and that was probably one of the hardest things I did, was leaving the family behind with our first kid, not knowing if she was gonna go into labor or not. But I knew I needed a career change, and I knew I needed to do it now or else I was gonna get too comfortable as they were trying to push foreman seats Treeside and fill crews. I didn't want to be a part of that. I wanted to continue on for my goals. I had been down there for a week. That weekend, she ended up having high blood pressure and got induced, so we ended up having our kid while I was home. And it was the best thing in life. I got to take a week off, stay home, and help out. It was pretty damn cool. The best thing ever happened to me was having my kid. So now I got something else to work for and whatnot. I worked down south for 4 months. They ended up reducing the crew structures down there, so I got moved up to Grants Pass. I took the family with me after my fiance gave birth to our kid, and so they were with me the whole time in the trailer, living on the road. I had gotten an interview again for my second time. I had to retake the aptitude test twice on the second round because it had lapsed. I think you can only go a year in between aptitude tests. And I failed my aptitude test when I quit Treeside because I hadn't been doing very much math. I've been doing a lot of rigging and such, not mathing and reading and writing. So I took the aptitude test again, and then I interviewed. I did pretty all right on my interview. I felt pretty confident going in. I knew what I wanted in life, and I knew what was going to get in my way, and that was nothing. So I kind of put that on the table when I got there. Like, all right, this is what I want. No matter what, I'm going to get there. So I think that helped me a lot when I went into my interview process. But also not being too cocky, which kind of got a little dicey there at the end. Yeah, so I ended up ranking pretty good on the interview. I got out within 2 weeks, got into the apprenticeship. So I went from flagging to working on the crews a little bit to going Treeside, journeying out Treeside, getting back on the crews, learning some more knowledge. I never once went to line school. I just put in honest work and determination to get there. That's what I wanted to do. Now I'm in the apprenticeship. I will complete the apprenticeship. It's going to be tough, and I understand that, and I'm excited for that. Anybody out there that wants to get into the line trade, just understand there's 1,000 different roads, if not, there's 1 million roads to get in. Everybody's got their own story to tell, so it's kind of the whole deal about the power line road. You take your road and just make it the best you can. Enjoy it while you're there, while you're doing it, and learn as much as you can. Never stop learning. And thank you all. Have a good one.